Welcome to the program tonight, everybody. Tyrone Bowman live. This evening's program is going to be different than from all the other 1,800 plus videos that I have already made. Tonight, I'm going to talk about something very personal, very sensitive, and very dear to me. You saw the title of the video. It's titled A Word of Encouragement to Bishop T.D. Jakes and the Potter's House family. I don't know Bishop T.D. Jakes, and Bishop T.D. Jakes doesn't know me. But many years ago, he was extremely instrumental in my life, and he doesn't even know it, when I was at the lowest ebb. Almighty God supernaturally used him to stop me from committing suicide. I'm not going to show the video. It's been played all over the internet, while others are speaking judgment, death, or whatever it is that they think they should speak. I've come to speak life, healing, and longevity. So who am I? I'm Tyrone Bowman, a former pastor and teacher whose life was utterly destroyed over 21 plus years ago. And tonight, I do have a monitor standing by because I know how people are. And I'm not going to mention the person's name, but it's my best friend and my covenant brother. He knows what I'm about to talk about is 100% real. So where do I begin? I begin dealing with be careful what you say to people and how you say it. You don't know whose life or lives that you are impacting. And I don't know if Bishop Jakes will see this video or not. This video is not for likes. It's not for clickbait. It's a word of encouragement to this great man of God. Many years ago, it's hard to talk about, but I got to have this conversation tonight. Exactly 21 years ago, my entire life was destroyed. Why? Because of lies. When people set out to destroy people's lives, and they maliciously and vindictively start telling lies, they have to perpetuate that lie or lies, and they have to stick with it until the very end, because once you start it, you cannot undo the poison that you set out to spread. What you see right here, let me turn this light off. Maybe y'all can see it better. Yep. This is my actual inmate identification card that I was forced and I had to carry for 10 years. Being wrongfully accused, wrongfully sent to prison, wrongfully judged. By who? It was Christians, or so-called Christians, who did this. And they knew what they were doing. It's not like they did it without knowing. They maliciously set out to do it, and they succeeded. What did they succeed in doing? They succeeded in getting a brother charged. They succeeded in a trial. They succeeded with a false conviction. They succeeded with a false imprisonment. And during those long 10 years, the lives of my children were impacted. A marriage was destroyed. A church in ministry was destroyed. You know, there are those out there tonight, you are extremely judgmental and condemning and self righteous. And you think every pastor or preacher is out there doing every seemingly ungodly thing under the sun. And those of us who were striving to do what was right, we were the ones who were verbally viscerated. At this point in time in my life, I no longer have a desire to be a pastor. I would never be a pastor again after the way that I was treated and sent to prison. How would you like it if someone falsely accused you or someone that you love? How would you like standing before 3 judges? How would you like having a lying, corrupt, fabricating police officer create things that are not true? How would you like it when you're sitting before a so-called jury of your peers who know nothing about you, but yet they judged you knowing that everything that was said during the course of the trial was a lie? So how does Bishop T.D. Jakes come into the equation? I was about to commit suicide when I was in prison. I got tired of the lies. I got tired of the heartache. I got tired of the pain. And as I told them then, I say it now before these cameras. I will never confess to something that I didn't do, under no circumstances and or conditions. And the sad thing about it is, those people who knew me were quick to believe the lies. They were quick to judge. They were quick to condemn. They were quick to pronounce death. And these so-called prophets and prophetess, or whatever they want to call themselves, who swear that Almighty Yahweh Elohim Adonai, Jehovah God himself, is talking to them, when they have totally misguided and deceived. And I began to pray. And this is a simple prayer I pray. Oh, by the way, well, let me get it. I don't want to get ahead of the story. I prayed a simple prayer, and this is what I said. I said, Almighty God, if you are real, I need you to make yourself real to me today, or I am going to see you tomorrow. That was the simple prayer that I prayed. And I got up off my knees and I walked around my little jail cell, thinking about how to kill myself, thinking about how to end it all. I wrote a song and I wrote several letters to my children. And I wrote a scathing letter to my now ex-wife, because she was extremely instrumental in having me destroyed. Then I got not a call, but a summons from the CO. For those of you that have never been to prison, the CO is a corrections officer. And he said, Tyrone, the chaplain wants to see you. I said, well, what does he want to see me for? He said, I don't know, but he requested for you to come. So I went to the chaplain's office, and I said, listen, I'm not in the mood to talk. I don't want to hear nothing about the Bible. I don't want to hear nothing about nothing. I'm tired. I'm distressed. I'm worried. And I just want my life to be over. Then he began to talk to me about his life, and I listened. I felt a little better. He said, you know what, I have some tapes over there in the box. Why don't you see what you can find and just take it back to the block and listen to it. So I took the box of cassette tapes, because back then they had cassette tapes. And I saw two sermons by Bishop T.D. Jakes. I'll never forget them as long as I live. The first sermon was titled, Tell the Devil I Changed My Mind. The second sermon was titled, No Man Can Tame the Wind. I took those sermons to myself, and I wore them out. When I tell you I wore them out until I couldn't even play them anymore. And there was a song in there by Shekinah Glory. Praise is what I do. And while I'm looking into the mirror, there was a group of brothers who watched over me night and day. Those are my brothers to this day I have tremendous respect for. The brothers from the Nation of Islam, who accepted me and embraced me as one of their own. And they watched over me the entire time that I was there. Then I decided to write Bishop T.D. Jakes a letter. I saw him on television. I said, well, maybe he'll get it. Maybe he won't get it. I don't know. I wrote him a letter and I explained my situation to him. And I even put the article from the newspaper, the medical report, all that stuff, I put it in there. And to my surprise, I got a letter back. Bishop Jakes wrote me while I was in prison. And he prophesied to me. And the words of that prophecy breathed life into my spirit and breathed life into my soul. God used this man of God that people are always condemning, always judging, always pronouncing death upon him. God used him to stop me from committing suicide. I don't know if you all can see this article, but I want to put it up here. As you can see, let me tell you where it's printed from so you know it's real. This is printed from the Delaware County Times, Tuesday, October 19th, 2004. That was the day they sentenced me to 5 to 10 years in prison for crimes that never happened. The judge knew it was a lie. The jury knew it was a lie. The prosecutor knew it was a lie. And even after they got their conviction, they went out and they had a party when it was over. So let me show you this. Let me turn one of these lights off. This piece of paper you see here is 21 years old. It says, Pastor jailed despite recant. Judge now considers the letter from the girl who says she was not raped. The matter will be decided later. Well, later never came. The matter was never solved. The conviction remained. And to this date, there are lawyers out there, especially from a major law firm, if you want a case that is rock solid, where it can be proven beyond the shadow of a doubt that everything I said is true, and I have a compiled portfolio that I've been keeping down for the past 21 years. And if you feel as though you want to represent somebody, give me a holler in the comment section. And my personal email is tyronebowmansr@gmail.com. I never met Bishop Jakes, but I can tell you this much as I'm looking into this camera. Today, 21 years later, I'm on the fast track to becoming a criminal defense attorney with a goal, with an agenda, and with a mission. And what is that goal? What is that agenda? What is that mission? To represent and fight for and advocate on behalf of men and women who have been falsely accused of crimes, where the system has just thrown them into the abyss of prison and given them an inmate ID card like I have and said to blank with them. So I did the 10 years, but I can tell you what, I did it with strength, I did it with purpose, I did it with the renewal of mind, all because I received a letter from Bishop T.D. Jakes that stopped me from committing suicide. And Bishop Jakes, I say to you tonight, thank you. Thank you for your obedience unto God at that time. Thank you for writing that letter. Thank you for responding to the letter that I sent. I speak life to you. I speak health. And I speak longevity to you and to your lovely wife, Sarita. To the entire Potter's House family, stand with your pastor. Intercede and pray for him. Upgird him with words of encouragement, words of faith, words of strength, words that will empower him the same way that you've been empowered. And to all you YouTube prophets, you YouTube prophetess that are always speaking judgment, condemnation, and damnation to people, you yourselves are not without sin. You have done terrible things in your life, but yet you sit in judgment of others. I'm not afraid of any of y'all because I know the true and living God for myself. So once again, Bishop T.D. Jakes, thank you for allowing God to use a young man who was simply known as inmate FZ 7210. These are the facts. This is the plain truth from a grateful heart. And somewhere along the line, I hope and pray that I see you in person so I can bless you, sir. Until then, never surrender, never quit.